Matthew chapter 21, verses 1 to 17. As they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage on the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go to the village ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied there, with her colt by her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, tell him that the Lord needs them, and he will send them right away." This took place to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet. "Say to the daughter of Zion, see, your king comes to you gentle and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." The disciples went and did as Jesus had instructed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, placed their cloaks on them, and Jesus sat on them. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, while others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds that went ahead of him and those that followed shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest!" When Jesus entered Jerusalem, the whole city was stirred and asked, "Who is this?" The crowds answered, "This is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee." Jesus entered the temple area and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. "It is written," he said to them, "My house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers." The blind and the lame came to him at the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and the teachers of the law saw the wonderful things he did, and the children shouting in the temple area, "Hosanna to the Son of David," they were indignant. "Do you hear what these children are saying?" they asked him. "Yes," replied Jesus. "Have you never read, 'From the lips of children and infants you have ordained praise'?" And he left them and went out of the city to Bethany, where he spent the night. "I am Miriam, daughter of Jairus. My parents have often told me of the time when I slipped away from them into a land of shadows. In their sorrow, Jesus came. He spoke to me and brought me back. I remember looking into his face, and a peace came into my heart that has remained with me ever since. Do you wonder that I love him? But I came here not to talk of myself, but to tell of his entry into Jerusalem." It was a lovely morning in spring. Father and I were approaching Jerusalem. From the time I was quite a little girl, we had talked of the time when we, as a family, would go up for the Passover, and here we were, actually on our way up to the holy city. The winding path led us up to the top of the Mount of Olives, and I caught my first glimpse of the old city. I beheld the glory of the temple. Then there came to us the sound of many voices, and we saw a multitude waving palm branches, giving honor to someone who sat on the back of a donkey, a gentle beast of burden. And it was Jesus. And as we joined the crowds, we too, with grateful and happy hearts, lifted our voices and shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David." You are the King of glory. You are the Prince of peace. You are the Lord of heaven and earth. You're the Son of righteousness. Angels bow down before thee, worship and adore. For you have the words of eternal life. You are Jesus Christ the Lord. Hosanna to the Son of David. Hosanna to the King of Kings. Glory in the highest heaven, for Jesus the Messiah reigns. Hosanna Hosanna to the King of Kings. Glory in the highest heaven, for Jesus the Messiah reigns. Have a very blessed Palm Sunday.